just trying to keep the cost down. Now, if for cold storage they're in there, I'm assuming now they'd have a temperature that they'd have to keep it at, maybe 45 degrees. Again, I don't know, please don't quote me on that. It's a temperature above freezing, and we keep it above freezing anyways, so if they do it, you know, I'm assuming the same thing. They're not gonna have it 70. Well, if they could, I mean, it's up to them, they're paying the bill. But I would think that it'd just be bare number, so.
I can tell you, I pay the bills for this, and I don't think I've ever paid a bill for gas for here for over $100 a month.
So Angie, and to answer your question, they'd probably average everything, and if there is something, there'd be an agreement and say, okay, for the last 2 years.
We got enough historical average on what we're using, and you'll know what's over.
But again, I can't tell you with 100% certainty, but just again, to be fair with the town, if it's an additional $100, I think that they're good for $100 or 200, whatever it is. But again, that would have to be worked out between the airport manager, because he sees the bills, we don't. But again, it's a fair question.
We could probably afford to kick that one in now and then. We have, you know, I'm just saying.
Yeah, if it's real cold.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, if we wanted to do something in the middle of the winter, and we needed it warmer.
Well,
we
that's
could do
it,
that.
depends on how many meetings we have.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
that's-
Because we're only gonna have one, which will go back to our thing, we'll have one in January, because we only have, what, four meetings a year.
Speaking of that, don't we need to set time and date for that?
Right, but we haven't got to that yet.
I have one more question,
Sure.
2 more questions actually. One is, how long is it, what's the process now to get this lease approved and published?
BOA, for us to get it to the BOA,
Yeah,
which they'll probably have it relatively soon this week, I think. And then after they approve it, then I would assume at that point it'd be part of public record, because it's, again, you have to remember, I'm not in that area.
no, I
Yeah.
was just looking to see at what point you're sending it to them, and then I know it's in their hands, and then who knows how long it's gonna be. And I know you have no say in that.
It could be a week, and it could be 6 months.
And then my other question is estimate, and this is probably for Larry, the cost of putting in a new door and paving, because I know pavement is expensive, as are doors. When is the estimate gonna be available for the cost on that?
There won't be any estimates. This is gonna be, our application is for dry storage only. We're not
But once it's,
asking for bids for
right, but
anything.
once it's approved, then we would go from that point. There's no sense bidding
We're
on
not gonna
something.
do anything unless we have some approvals.
Does
There's
it have
nothing,
to-
nothing will be done.
Does it
So
have
you're
to go up
waiting
to?
for actual approval before you
There will
actually
be nothing
start
done
acting
unless
on
there's
any of
approval, and
that?
for, first thing might be for storage. There'd be another whole process for approval for something else, so that would be a couple of years.
You know, I mean, even if it's in the spring, just for talking purposes, and it was approved by the BOA, and it was approved by us, and it was approved by the town, then the estimates would come in, and then, you know, there would have to be the funding, and I'm sure it'd have to go into the budget process,
Sure.
because again, it's not part of the airport, and whether it be $20 or $100,000, whatever it costs to put in the doors and the concrete out to 106, that's, you know, that's something at that point.
It's concrete all the way out to 106?
No, it would
You
have to
say
be there.
earth and whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
'cause
was
they
like,
have to go out. they
The
have to-
weight load that you're taking with something large like that.
Yeah, and
That's-
because there's an apron out there, and again, that's beyond us. I just,
Yeah.
we don't want it to go on our blacktop with that heavy truck, because I think it was brought up with Spancrete and things, there's a certain weight limit. I know that this blacktop is not stressed for that kind of stuff, and if it did go out there, any damage would have to be, you know.
Yeah,
But I mean, again, you know,
Brings up
I'm
another
getting out in
point.
the weeds,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
and I know across the way,
There's more questions than answers in
right,
this.
but it has to
But I
start
think a lot of it
someplace.
starts with the BOA, because if they send back stuff that they require this done a certain way, then you're gonna have to get quotes from that anyways.
Yeah, and to get quotes now, I mean, again, you know, if your husband, if he's a contractor and he wants to do it, he wants to bid $50,000, whatever it is, and then that's, you know, that's down the road.
Yeah.
So, there's no way to answer that, it's just to say
No,
that.
that answers my question.
Okay. Anybody else?
One more.
Sure.
Is this floor rated for the weight of the three trucks?
I don't know that myself. That's what I was just thinking the same
A tanker full
thing.
of water, a fire truck and an ambulance?
Well, the ambulance would weigh about what that tractor does. That tractor with the weights is pushing 20-some thousand pounds. So,
But it's not full of water, though.
What's that?
It's not full
No,
of
it's not
water.
a tanker, but
No,
it's an
but the
ambulance.
ambulance. Again, I don't know, I would probably say yes, because when they built it by the standards that the feds had laid out. And I know that, we bring that roller in here, that roller goes almost 20,000 pounds by itself, it's all concrete filled. And,
Do we have building drawings?
I think we still have building drawings with specifications, we've got some, I've seen them.
Yeah,
right.
they should call it the thickness of the floor in there.
I think we can access and find.
Because I know that the T-hangers, when they built that, the T-hangers was almost 12 inches thick of concrete. Plus, they had like 3 semis load of rebar in that T-hangers we had, never
They're
seen.
pushing commercial stuff.
Yeah, which is what this one would be, when they designed it, it was for commercial application. So, but again, I can't answer that 100%, I'm just saying that anytime you bring the feds in, they're gonna say, like those T-hangers, they wanted it set up for a 747 can fit in there, weight-wise, which, I mean, not really, but you know, I'm just saying.
That's
They're-
why they cost me according to the million.
Yeah.
The new hangar is over $1 million.
Yeah, so but it's spec'd out by the government on what they have to have at an airport. And so I would assume, and again, maybe it's a wrong word, but it's set up for a commercial building, it's set up for basically whatever can practically be tossed at it for an you know. And again, I don't know how heavy a fire engine is, but,
40 to 60,000 pounds.
sure.
That's not much. Regular somebody's 80,000.
Well, I know for 1 year, because we're having a problem with the tractor, I actually brought my 2+2 in, and it's got fluid-filled tires, and it goes in that 35,000 pounds. I had it hooked up to the blower. See, we even bring our own equipment in to do the airports. I brought my own farm tractor in.
Nobody's questioning that you're dedicated.
Well, I think we're rambling too much, or we
Right.
need to make a
Wrap
motion
it up.
to
Okay,
terminate this meeting.
so this is, so we're good? Everybody, we're good? Want to make sure we're all good for today? Okay. I'd like to set up the next meeting time, because we've already talked about the special meeting next Tuesday. For the next quarterly, when would we want to do that?
This year yet,
What's that?
that would be this year.
Yeah, this year.
2022.
December.
During 2022, right?
I guess. Because this was actually early, this meeting was early because our other one was late. But wouldn't it be in January for,
But that won't satisfy the 2022.
we have to have another one?
October, November, so no, this is the fourth quarter now, so
Right.
okay. So now it'll be for 2023.
So we could do a January or the beginning? Is there a time for, in January?
January's fine with me.
January would be good.
Okay,
I'm gonna be here, I'm not going anywhere.
You have to turn the big heater.
we'll have to all wear
We'll
parkas.
do that, we'll just keep everything turned down for the meeting, we'll crank it up.
There you go.
Just come in early, turn on earlier.
Okay, so what about the 16th?
How about the 16th of January? Is that a Monday?
It's a Monday.
6:30?
Yep.
23.
It's gonna be hard to write that. 6:30, okay. So do we have a motion to,
I've been trying to make that one for half an hour. Motion to adjourn this meeting.
okay, all in favor?
All right.
Opposed? Okay, good, thank you.